It's possible to have a new relationship with the same people. When I figured that out, my life just completely changed for the better. Now, my mom used to always tell me that it was important to reach out to my grandparents and check on them from time to time because, life is short. That was really hard for me to do at one point in time with my grandma, her mom, because although I knew she loved me, she had a tongue that could tear you and rip you to shreds. And I remember bracing myself to make that phone call because I didn't know what I was going to get. So it got to the point where I said, if anything ever happened to her, I would feel horrible if I didn't stay in touch. So what I started doing, I would call and I would say, "How you doing?" And then when she told me, I would say, "Okay, I didn't want anything. I just wanted to say, hey, and I love you." And I would end the phone call. So I called her every single week for a month straight, doing just that. Until one day she said, "Why you only just call and just say that and then hang up?" And at that moment I said, "Well, Mama, I love you, but I don't really feel like getting my feelings hurt today. And anytime I speak to you, you say something and I walk away from the phone call feeling bad. And I don't want to get my feelings hurt. But I do want you to know that I love you." At that moment, she was silent for about 30 seconds. And then afterwards, she sighed and said, "I didn't know I was doing that." And I said, "Yeah." That was the first time in I don't know how long, but it had been some years that we had talked longer than a minute. In fact, we stayed on the phone for 2 hours. And then after that, our relationship just blossomed into something beautiful up until the time that she passed. And the moral of this story is, yes, sometimes people need to go. Sometimes people need to be cut off. And I would never say, hang on to somebody who is in your life and, they're just making your life something that you don't want it to be. But we also have to understand that we've shown up a certain way all of our life. People have grown accustomed to dealing with us in a way that we've allowed. And sometimes it's possible to change the dynamic by simply being honest. So I hope this helps somebody. Have a good one.